Now on CoastTV News.
Executive action, what Delaware's latest order means for transgender healthcare and state policy. Highway hike, how much more a trip through Delaware could cost you as tolls are set to increase. And sun's out, crowds out, how Ocean City businesses are hoping to bounce back after a slow start to tourist season.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good Friday evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Delaware Governor Matt Meyer signing his 11th executive order of his term. It protects the personal data of gender-affirming care providers and patients under state law. Healthcare professionals are also now protected against disciplinary violations for providing this care to trans people. CoastTV spoke with one person who says she's been waiting a long time for an order like this to be passed.
I have been in this battle for almost 20 years now. Trinity was very young when she socially transitioned. She was 4, and there was literally nothing.
Now, on the other side, Delaware Republican Senator Bryant Richardson is criticizing the governor's move, saying he was hopeful that Delaware lawmakers would follow suit with the U.S. Supreme Court, which recently upheld a ban on gender-affirming care for trans youth in Tennessee. Delaware's governor is also now voicing support for increasing tolls in the state. DelDOT says the toll increase is to cover rising costs and decline in gas tax revenue. We're talking a major increase here. At Route 1 toll plazas, Delaware Easy Pass users would see a 50-cent increase on weekdays and a $1 increase on weekends. Those new tolls would be $1.50 on weekdays and $4 on weekends. But for out-of-state drivers and cash payers, they would see a $1.50 increase on weekdays and a $2.50 increase on weekends. So their new tolls would be $3 on weekdays, $6 on weekends. Governor Matt Meyer says he would be signing that increase into effect.
I think it's important we fund our transportation needs. If you look at the rate of inflation over years, the rate of tolls that we charge is actually way down in real numbers, right? It makes it hard to increase, but I will be signing that.
The governor said these toll increases would directly support improving and maintaining the state's transportation infrastructure. This will be the first toll increase on Route 1 since 2007. Well, summer is here, and so is the summer traffic, with cars heading up and down Route 1 today to get to the beaches. With DelDOT's new project that broke ground today, 8 of the crossovers that they call dangerous on Route 1 will be gone. DelDOT says this will basically create a service road network. This video here is from DelDOT. It shows what the area of Minos-Conaway Road, Nassau Road, and Old Mill Road looks like now. But you can see a new service road is planned. It would pop up west of Route 1 with a roundabout to get onto Minos-Conaway without even touching the highway. The project will also add 2 miles of new pathways for cyclists and pedestrians.
Through this project, you will no longer be able to do those cross movements from Route 1. You'll be getting off onto the service roads and then connecting under Route 1 to do those movements. So it just reduces conflict points, and conflict points are typically where you see crashes.
And the project's estimated completion is summer 2028. This does bring us to our CoastTV poll tonight. We want to know what you think is most needed on Route 1. Looking at the updated results now, some mixed answers. 31% say overpasses, 51% say more lanes, just 1% say crosswalks, and 16% say roundabouts. Only 1% say bike paths. We want to know what you think, though. You can still vote. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. The Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk, it's visited by many people. It's also loved by many people. And Rehoboth Beach commissioners are now looking at a few different ways to commemorate the history of the boardwalk. CoastTV reporter Zakia Jennings shows us what visitors and locals think about the plans.
The Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk has a long history, dating back to the 1800s. Now, city commissioners are looking to commemorate that history. It could be with a historic marker like these seen across the first state, or maybe something bigger through the National Register of Historic Places.
I think that that would be great.
Felicia Rollins thinks the boardwalk should be a historic landmark as long as it stays a place where everyone feels welcome.
If it continues to be an inclusive place for people to come of all cultures and all walk of life, and it be a place for us to build great memories and share things with our family and loved ones, I think that it would be awesome to be a historical landmark.
Alper Akron has owned Adeline Studio for 19 years. He wonders what establishing the boardwalk as a historic landmark would mean for development.
I don't know if it's going to bring any new regulations for landlords and businesses, and I don't know what kind of an effect that would have on businesses, and I think we need to be more clear about that, and there should be more information available to everybody.
The Boardwalk and Beach Committee will discuss this at their next meeting. In Rehoboth Beach, Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
Well, temperatures have been climbing over the last few days. It's giving a welcomed boost to foot traffic to boardwalk shops in Ocean City. And the weather on Memorial Day, which is known as the unofficial start to summer, definitely didn't feel like summer. Mother Nature also did not cooperate for the Ocean City Air Show last weekend. So businesses say they're looking toward the next big weekends now that the clouds have cleared.
Already prepping for it, so we're already bringing in new product and stuff, so try to get a head start on it. We're expecting a really big weekend. I mean, between 4th of July and White Marlin Open, like those are our two monster weekends, so we're really just, we're looking forward to it. So if the weather sticks around, and that's just going to help us. But even if it's like a little off, people will still be down and cruising and stuff.
And today's heat is expected to continue over the weekend before climbing even higher next week. And for more on that, we're going to take a live look into Lewis and turn things to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening. Well, this weekend, we're going to have the kind of sunshine that you can have the opportunity to enjoy, and it's going to be warm in the 80s. But by Monday and Tuesday, that same sunshine takes it up several notches to the point where we're going to have to go, we're going to have a problem. But we'll take a look at that in more detail in a moment. We're at 74 degrees right now in Milford. When we're in the comfortable 70s right now, a nice cool feel in the air for us right now. So going out and enjoying your weekend right now, not even a problem whatsoever. Even the dew point temperatures haven't even prompted any kind of heat index action going on. We're quiet on the beachfront. In fact, we were under a small craft advisory. That's been allowed to subside. And this trough right here, yesterday the trough caused storms. This one, much ado about nothing. We will talk about that sunshine and that heat over the weekend. For right now, back to you.
Thank you, Paul. And hey, it's not just us here on Delmarva. The official start of summer has millions of people bracing for their first heat wave of 2025. Temperatures expected to rise to dangerous, potentially record-breaking levels over the weekend and into next week. Reporter Michael Yoshida has more on that.
Extreme temperatures are forecast to hit the United States this weekend, impacting tens of millions from the Midwest to the Northeast, according to the National Weather Service.
But this is not your run-of-the-mill hot summer week. We're facing 4 to 5 straight days of blistering hot heat.
A potent and widespread heat dome is expected to send thermometers soaring. Many places are expected to see highs in the low to mid-90s, but it will feel hotter with a heat index how it actually feels outside, including humidity in the triple digits. More than 250 daily temperature records could be broken on Monday and Tuesday.
Heat and humidity are a dangerous combination.
Chicago preparing for the potential threat as it nears the 30th anniversary of its July 1995 heat wave that led to more than 700 heat-related deaths in the city.
It really challenged the city to recognize the danger of extreme heat so that we never see a tragedy like that occur again. We do have cooling locations all over the city. We have street outreach workers that are available as well to connect the unhoused Chicagoans with those resources.
Weather officials warning those experiencing days of potentially record-breaking temperatures will see little relief at night.
When you factor in the humidity, which is going to stay the same through this whole heat wave, the heat index, what it feels like, is going to feel like it's greater than 80 degrees through the whole heat wave for more than 72 hours.
Government and health leaders encouraging people to do everything they can to stay cool and to check on friends, neighbors, and family members, especially seniors. In Washington, Michael Yoshida reporting.
Now to a story that's been making national headlines. World leaders are in Europe trying to find a way to end the Israel-Iran conflict. And NBC's Andrea Mitchell is hearing straight from the Iran foreign minister with an exclusive interview.
Tonight, the news strikes, a surveillance camera capturing an Iranian missile hitting a residential building in Israel. And this Iranian strike hitting the northern Israeli city of Haifa, while Israel striking missile launchers in Iran. Today, in an exclusive interview, Iran's foreign minister calling on President Trump to demand Israel stop its attacks.
What it needs is only a telephone call from Washington to Tel Aviv to stop everything.
Tonight, President Trump responding, saying Israel is winning.
I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens.
All of it as President Trump again met in the Situation Room as he decides whether to launch a U.S. airstrike on the underground Iranian Fordo nuclear facility. Only the U.S. has the bunker buster bombs capable of destroying it.
Within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, they're going to be able to have a nuclear weapon. We can't let that happen.
He said he'll wait up to 2 weeks to give diplomacy a chance.
Just time to see whether or not people come to their senses.
Tonight, Iran's foreign minister tells us they won't resume talking to the U.S. until Israel stops attacking them.
Can diplomacy produce a solution in 2 weeks?
Well, I think it's up to, Americans, the United States, to show their determination for going for a negotiated solution. We have come to the conclusion that negotiations by the U.S. was in fact a cover for what Israelis did. So they had perhaps this plan in their mind, and they just needed negotiations perhaps to cover it up. We don't know how we can trust them anymore. What they did was in fact a betrayal to diplomacy.
While Iran vowing to respond to any U.S. strike.
Would Iran retaliate against U.S. targets and U.S. forces in the region or elsewhere?
Well, when there is a war, both sides attack each other. That's quite understandable. And self-defense is a legitimate right of every country.
President Trump again rebuking his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who said Iran has an unprecedented amount of enriched uranium for a state without nuclear weapons, but that Iran's supreme leader has not yet authorized the nuclear weapons program.
My intelligence community is wrong. She's wrong.
And we are just getting started this evening. Coming up next, summer travel expectations. How many people could hit the road for the 4th of July holiday? But first, we have all the cool things to do this weekend.
And just to give you a hint as to how hot it's about to become, Saturday 91 in Cambridge, Sunday 95, Monday 98, and it's going to go higher than that. We'll have your full forecast in 60 seconds.
30 years ago, the internet was barely a thing. But the beginning of everything. At MediaCom, we've been here. Every single step, stride, and slide along the way. And for as much as the internet has changed, we've changed. The speed and size of our network, the performance of our technology, the scale and power of our security. Investing in the growth of our communities and keeping you ready for what's next. See you there.
Extreme weather moving into the area. Better stay inside.
Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly, super duper fly. Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly.
Don't let what's happening outside affect how you feel inside. Pella windows are tested against extreme heat, cold, wind, and rain, so you can protect what matters most.
Call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation where we bring the showroom to you.
Get ready to crank it up this weekend at Delaware's longest-running music festival, June Jam. The The all-day music festival in Houston is rocking its 47th year with local bands, big sounds, and good vibes. Gates open at 10 a.m. Saturday. Dogfish Head in Milton is throwing a big birthday bash Saturday night, celebrating 30 years of beer. There will be live music and plenty of pints to go around. Or soak up the sights and smells at the Lavender and Lambs Festival in Millsboro. All weekend long, you'll find sheep shearing, lavender cooking demos, and more at Brittingham Farms. And for a moment of reflection, Wings of Hope returns to Milton Memorial Park Saturday morning. It's a chance to honor those impacted by cancer with family fun and a beautiful butterfly release. For more details, you can visit CoastTV.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
I literally just reran the models while we were in commercial break because I was debating on whether or not we need to have a red alert day for next week. I'm making an executive decision. We're going to have 2 red alert days for next week because when I show you the 7-day and 10-day forecast, you will understand why. All right, so our Irish Ice camera in Lewis, the temperatures in the 70s for tonight. We got up to 90 degrees for the high today in Georgetown officially, 84 in Ocean City and in Salisbury, and that was the high today in Cambridge. Now, that's warm, but it was warm with the dew point temperature tapped down a bit for us. We are currently in the 70s, 76 in Rehoboth, Indian River Inlet, 75 Bethany Beach, and 76 right now in Ocean City. Dew point temperatures in the 60s now, a little bit closer, feeling a little bit muggy outside, almost a damp feeling outside where the dew point temperatures are so elevated. Our muggy meter has been readjusted with our latest model run, and so now you see the muggy getting to very muggy for Saturday, and that was dipping earlier today, so that's the difference in the graph here. And then look at where we spike by the time we get to Monday. This is the reason why I'm making that executive decision that I was talking about. We spike all the way up to miserable with the dew point temperature beyond 75. That's not crazy, but that's what I want to say. Anyway, we're looking at it staying very quiet here. Dominant high pressure system in control of our weather. We have a trough that's pushing through, but it's not going to be a rain forming trough. Now for Saturday, sunny, spectacular, nice. Sunday, the muggies begin to take over and it starts mugging us as we walk outside. But Saturday's okay, 88 in Dewey Beach and Chincoteague, 89 in Lewis. That's probably going to be more impressive numbers for Saturday, but Sunday things change up. Also on Saturday, inland, we're looking at an average of about 91. Eastern Shore, over towards the Cambridge area, 91, 84 on the coast. Here's where it gets crazy. Sunday, but particularly Monday and Tuesday. Dominant dome of high pressure will open the door, open the floodgates for all kind of heat to literally act like a magnifying. I want you to think of this high pressure system as a big magnifying glass, and it's zeroing in on us. Okay? Now, as far as precipitation is concerned, that's not my issue. A couple of sprinkles, that will be a relief if they occur. But look at where we end up, 93 on Sunday, okay? But look at the heat index numbers. We're at 105, for example, for a brief moment for Monday, and then we're looking for it to become even more so, up to 117 in some areas. So that's with the latest run. And then the UV index is going to be elevated at a level of 9 at the very least. In fact, that's going to start bumping up as well. So for tonight, we're clear. For tomorrow, a high of 90 degrees. That's even up a couple of degrees. 95 on Sunday. Now, here's why I'm changing my mind on Monday and Tuesday. The new model run is showing this. Are you looking? 99 on Monday, 99 on Tuesday. Those are not heat index numbers. Those are actual temperatures in the shade. I present to you the evidence, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
99, that sure is hot. Thank you, Paul. Well, some airlines, including Southwest and Alaska Airlines, have a new tool for pilots in the cockpit. It's an alert system designed by Honeywell. It's similar to safety systems in newer cars that detect blind spots. Honeywell's alert system gives pilots verbal warnings and text alarms. It could be used if a pilot is about to use the wrong runway for takeoff or landing, or if a pilot is coming in too high or too fast for landing. The 4th of July, now just 2 weeks away, and AAA is out with its new travel forecast this morning, projecting, as Ryan Nobles reports, a record number of people who plan to get away.
America's summer of travel, already in full swing, and now expecting a big surge over the next couple weeks. AAA projects more than 72 million people are expected to travel 50 miles or more over the July 4th holiday period, starting the weekend before. A vast majority, more than 61.5 million, by car.
By the time you get to Saturday, June 28th, most kids are out of school, so that's when families can start making moves. The two worst days that we're anticipating on the roads are going to be Wednesday, July 2nd and Sunday, July 6th.
Come on.
Another 5.8 million are expected to fly. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy in San Diego Thursday to showcase what he calls an urgent need for equipment upgrades and control towers, as he said the FAA is dealing with a shortage of controllers nationwide.
They should not be using this equipment. I think Americans expect much better. I'm pulling every lever I can to get as many controllers to stay and into the pipeline and certified to make sure we don't have that shortage.
One airport where things have improved recently, Newark Liberty, following equipment outages, staffing issues, and a runway under construction. United Airlines, which uses Newark as a major hub, says since the runway reopened, it's gone from 15th to 1st for on-time airports. The airline also says it's prepared as the FAA anticipates its busiest summer travel in the last 15 years.
We are fully staffed, fully prepared, and ready for summer.
Coming up, the Delmarva Sports Network takes us to Athlete Academy to see how this football player is training to be on the top of his game this fall.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Here's something to be aware of. If you've noticed more ticks in Delaware this year, you are not alone. DNREC officials say they have found higher numbers this year throughout the entire state. You're looking now at a lone star tick. It's a common species here in Delaware. The state's tick biologist says Sussex County has some of the highest numbers. They say they expect those numbers to continue rising throughout this summer, and state leaders are reminding everyone it is important for people to do tick checks after being outside. Well, it's estimated to affect up to 100 million adults in the U.S., but many people have no idea they have fatty liver disease. According to the American Liver Foundation, if it's left untreated, one type of the disease can lead to cirrhosis, liver cancer, and raise the risk of heart conditions. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the disease and what one who has it wants everyone to know.
In 2001, at the age of 45, Pam Miller went in for gastric bypass surgery.
I was finally going to get rid of all the weight that I had because I weighed nearly 300 pounds then.
But she says that surgery was aborted. There was a major problem with her liver, and she had no idea.
I really had no symptoms. Even my blood work was normal.
Back then, Miller says she didn't know anything about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's caused by a buildup of fat in the liver that interferes with the organ's functioning, and that's what she was diagnosed with. On top of that, her doctor told her it was stage 4.
He told me I had approximately 6 years to live, that there was no cure, and, basically, good luck.
Miller decided to get a second opinion at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center and learned about how lifestyle changes can help. For her, that meant weight loss.
It's so important to really increase awareness for this condition and for patients to ask their doctors whether or not they need to be screened for it.
Dr. Vivek Mendarata says sometimes blood work can detect a problem, but there's also a screening called FibroScan that quickly examines the liver.
It's essentially just an ultrasound that takes about 10 or 15 minutes. There's no poking, no needles.
It's now been 24 years since her diagnosis, and Miller is still maintaining healthy habits.
I think this is God's will that I'm supposed to get out and teach others that you need to listen to your body.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now we'll move to sports, and we head to Berlin to see how an athlete is training to bring home some hardware for the 3rd straight year. DSN's Kayla Santiago has more.
Jacob Marshall, football player at Stephen Decatur, is training at the Athlete Academy to prepare for the fall. He says the Berlin facility gets him ready to play on the gridiron.
I mean, it's helped me so much, like building chemistry with coaches, personalized coaching, help my air intake, my run speed, weightlifting increase and everything, man. It's been incredible.
And Jacob says that Athlete Academy is like no other.
Just the personalized coaching. Like, they talk to you, give you constructive criticism. Like, it's always good. The med-ball stuff's my favorite stuff to do. It's always great. And like I say, personalized coaching's the best.
The offensive lineman has his goals set for the football season.
A starter for like JV varsity football, probably go to college, maybe play football.
And to get there takes training. Jacob Marshall gives us the specifics on how he brings that training to the field.
I get to focus like mentally focus me, and like just my footwork and my precision that athletes taught me, just take it out on that field over there.
Stephen Decatur has been a powerhouse program for the last 2 seasons. And for Jacob Marshall, the hardware is in sight once again.
Probably go on a state championship run again.
Best of luck to Jacob Marshall as he prepares for the fall on the gridiron. Reporting from Berlin, Maryland, for the Delmarva Sports Network, I'm Kayla Santiago.
And now here's another live look outside. We'll have another check on the forecast coming up after the break. The world's most famous, frightening, fictional shark turns 50 today. The legendary hit film Jaws hit theaters on June 20th, 1975. The film has been noted by many as the forerunner of modern Hollywood, and it put director Steven Spielberg on the map. Jaws has also been blamed for creating shark phobia, making some people, including me, terrified of swimming in the ocean.
Me too. I'm in that group too. All right, so our skeeter meter by Active Pest Solutions. Listen, we're going to be at a high level for Saturday, very high on Sunday, and extreme on Monday. Extreme when it pertains to the mosquitoes. Our umbrella would be handy to get some shade over you. So Valerie Bocino, pick it up, and from Dagsboro, Delaware, keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. The number is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandales, and Federico. Now, I don't usually do this, but we're making an exception. Saturday 90, Sunday 95. It starts getting really muggy then. We usually go yellow, then red. I'm going straight red alert days for Monday and for Tuesday. Temperatures will climb to 99. It'll probably be upgraded to 100 over the weekend. Please be mindful of that, particularly pets, young kids, elderly, and those who have chronic breathing and health problems.
All right, thank you so much, Paul, and thanks to you at home for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. You can find some more local news and weather on our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 6 p.m. Have a great night.